Alright, been a lot of talk about media, and I'm going to talk about that word before I go on, you know, my thing about words. Media is plural of medium, okay? A medium is a thing that goes between. Money is a medium of exchange. So like if I get $1, you know, and you got a thing I want, and I say, I'll give you my $1 for your thing. Okay, now there's something else you want, but since this dollar functions as a medium of exchange, you can take it instead of the thing you want. You give me your thing, and then you can go find somebody who's got the thing you want, and you exchange that medium for your thing. Okay, so that's what a medium is. And media, the way the word started to be used, is it was the medium of exchange of ideas between one and another. So like a newspaper was a medium of exchange of ideas. A TV station was. And then after a while we had, you know, like newspapers and radios and TV stations. And so, used to be they said the press. When I was little, even though we had TV and radio, the word media wasn't commonly used. In fact, you could make a case that goes right back to Marshall McLuhan, what are you doing? And the medium is the message. McLuhan knew back in the late 60s that they aren't legitimately just a medium of exchange. $1's $1, you know, and if you got a $10 bill, that is exactly the same as 10 $1 bills. That's a true medium of exchange. But radio and TV don't work the same, and print definitely works differently because only the literate can read, and many people who could read choose not to. And so in the first place, you can reach more people with TV than you can with print. My Chihuahua could be watching television if she wanted to. You see people's cats watch TV. I mean, you don't have to be all that bright to watch TV. You have to bring something to the table to accumulate your information through reading. You have to take your own intellect and reach out there onto that page and decode those symbols and decode those into words and bring them in, and then you have to process those words with your mind. And just sitting and absorbing television doesn't require that you bring anything of your own to it. So it winds up with you different, you know. But worse, I.F. Stone was a genius in newspaper business a long time ago, back in another progressive era, and I can't quote him perfectly, and I'm not going to stop and look it up. But he said, in essence, the freedom of the press is only available to those who own one. So if you don't have a press, you can't get the freedom of the press. Okay, well, it didn't take that much money to get a press. You know, in Russia, one of the big things they did to overthrow the Soviet Union was they had this stuff they called samizdat. And it was like books, articles, newspapers, and they had been written down and they had been copied and photocopied and photocopied and photocopied, and people would smuggle them around and photocopy them and sneak them off to each other, and that was the free press. And it carried enough information to allow people to bring down the Soviet system, one of the most powerful dictatorships there ever was, through the written word. Now, can we do that? Can we do that with the internet? I don't know. But here's the problem. Now that the primary medium of exchange of ideas, or the primary media, is television, it costs a fortune to own a television station. It costs a fortune to buy a TV license. But let's say you could buy a TV license. Let's say somebody gave you free for nothing a TV license and gave you free for nothing a TV station. If you're a regular American, you couldn't afford to run it. If you already had it, you couldn't put any of your information out because it costs such a fortune. It takes gazillion kilowatt hours to run those big transmitters. It's the maintenance on the equipment. It's the more stuff you own, the more time you. We got this little 2-bit junk farm, and I spend most of my time fixing stuff because the more stuff you have, the more stuff breaks. And if you own a TV station, it's a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American picture frame. I mean, I spent my life repairing stuff in technology, and I can assure you that if you repair broken technological things, you will never want for work because stuff breaks all the time, and it's never going to stop. So now we got nothing but TV, and only very, very rich people can own one. Okay, now you know the deal about the conspiracy theory. I'm just going to step aside here. I'm going to put that rich people thought right down. I'm going to step over here just for a minute. You know about conspiracy theorists. They say they are hiding this information and they are conspiring against us. We've got chemtrails, we've got, oh hell, I don't know, Hillary Clinton's emails, I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. When I tell you that only rich people can own TV stations, I don't want you to think I'm telling you that they're all conspiring. They're not getting together in some little room someplace and saying, here's how we can screw the working class. They just all have the common same interests. They're all rich people. Okay, you can go out here, you go down here to the lake, and you can walk around the lake, and everybody you talk to is more interested in fishing than anything else, because that's why they're there. They don't have to conspire. They don't have to hold meetings to think that lake should be maintained in good health, because it's their common interest. And that's where rich people are. It is to their common interest to manipulate our economy in such a way that more money goes to rich people. They don't have to get together and make these such, MSNBC doesn't have to hold a secret meeting with Fox News to tell you all the parts of the story that are most beneficial to rich people. They're just automatically going to do that. Because they're not stupid, they're people. If I would tell you a story about life, and I had two different ways to tell it, and one way would be good for people who play the lap steel guitar, and the other way would be bad for people who play the lap steel guitar, even if I was trying to include mostly facts, and all the facts I could fit in there conveniently, I would tell you the version that was good for people who play lap steel guitar. And I wouldn't have to meet with a bunch of the other ones to do that, okay? So it's inevitable, it is absolutely inevitable that in a culture which uses an extremely expensive medium to transmit its ideas around, those ideas will only be those which are beneficial to people who can afford to own that media. That's just it. Okay, TV's fun. I'm glad y'all are having a good time. But, if you get President Donald Trump, then what's on that TV will be what President Donald Trump wants there. This will be just another dictatorship. Just another chicken shit dictator. All the state media, and it'll all tell you what they want you. It's not an accident that Vladimir Putin closed down all the TV stations that didn't agree with him. It's not an accident every time they do that. It's not an accident right now that Erdogan's doing that. You can only think with the information you have been provided. You cannot make decisions based on facts you have never heard. Fox News didn't even play the con people's speech the other night. But all the others did. Now, the people who watched Fox must have been the next day or two going, what's going on? What's all this? What's Trump yelling about? Because they didn't know. We're all like that. If nobody tells us that something happened, then we don't know that it happened. That's not like complicated. And if we trust only very rich people to tell us what's happening, I absolutely guarantee to you, no matter what side of the political spectrum they claim to represent, you will only hear things that it benefits rich people for you to hear. That's it, period. Now, what we do about it, that's another topic. But people, we've got to get... So many people are outraged. Boy, the media this, the media that. Get used to it. They're television. They own everything. They are rich people. They are not going to speak with your voice. They have never even heard your voice. We have to do something different. I don't know what yet. I'm open to suggestions. Thank you very much.